back to Your Comments Matters. I'm your host, Carol Love, and today we got some more Medicaid information for us senior citizens out there, and we might just be talking about your state today. So today's story is coming from Fox Business News, and this is regarding Dr. Oz. Let's get the words right. So Dr. Oz, he in the medical field now. And so he's going to give us the scoop, so to speak. He's going to set the matter straight on this big, beautiful bill cuts. All right. So with that being said, we got some great commenters here today. We got commenters going to be commenting on this story. Pace KN4PP. We got Evie Eve, Lynn Roberts, and Salvatore Quattrochi. Okay. Comment on the name, all right? Just comment on the name. If you don't comment on nothing else on this show, just go ahead and comment on the name. All right, I tell you some of the names that we see with people. Y'all got to make it simple, all right? Okay, everyone. With that being said, let's get into today's video, all right? From Fox Business News with Dr. Oz giving us more information on this big, beautiful bill, healthcare cuts.
As I understand it, 11 million people would lose their coverage because of the changes to Medicaid. That's going to be a political problem for you, isn't it?
I don't believe that number is correct. In fact, the numbers are often offered by economists who look at numbers, right, statistics, but this is really a psychology question. Here's the deal. You're sitting at home, on average, by the way, able-bodied people on Medicaid. This is not the original Medicaid population. By the way, it's 60th anniversary.
Oh, you brought a cake.
I brought you a cake, 60th anniversary of Medicaid. This is a Maha Medicake.
We'll take it.
We'll take it. But Medicaid was created, and it's a very precious entity. Medicare and Medicaid are the backbone of the social safety net of our country. We must preserve these entities. Medicare, of course, wasn't touched in the One Big Beautiful Law, but Medicaid was addressed because there's fraud, waste, and abuse, as Dr. Barrasso addressed. He's a physician, by the way, and an excellent doctor. So he understands both sides of this, the legal side as well as the medical side. If you're able-bodied and able to work, and you're not, on average, you're spending 6.1 hours a day watching television or just hanging out, video games, other things. So we're saying you ought to try to go to work. It's better for you, and it's better for the country. We've got twice as many jobs as people available to do those jobs.
That's true,
now. Work requirement. It's community engagement. And what the law says is you've got to try to get a job, ideally try to get 20 hours of work in if you can, or volunteer, or go get an education. And we're actually already doing pilots in 2 different states to get the technology ready. But if you're not willing to take that deal, then yes, you'll lose Medicaid. But I actually think, and I have confidence in the American people, they will do this. And we have a real-life example. 18 months ago, the Biden administration, under duress, realized the crisis that was taking place at Medicaid and began to unwind the COVID-era changes. Those are what we were primarily addressing with this law. 15 million people came off Medicaid. However, less than 10% became uninsured. Most people will either try to find a way of staying on Medicaid or go into the exchanges or get commercial insurance or find some other tactic to make sure they have health coverage.
Okay. As I understand it, rural hospitals could be in some trouble if people come off Medicaid, especially in the rural areas. But I also thought, don't you have a special hospital fund to help with this?
We have a $50 billion hospital fund. And let me just put this in context, because I think the whole story is critical. We're spending $200 billion more dollars in the next decade on Medicaid. More. In what country do you spend $200 billion more and your opposition accuses you of cutting? At least get the words right. We're investing more in Medicaid. The rural hospitals get less than 5% of the extra money that comes from state-derived payments. So the most of the money that's given from the federal government to the states actually goes to the big city hospitals that are well-connected, have lobbyists. So it was a dishonest narrative. However, there is a need to transform American medicine. I took this job for that reason. I think we can do so much to make healthcare efficient that will ultimately make the system viable. So the $50 billion, we call it the Rural Transformation Fund. It will help hospitals in rural areas thrive. It'll get more people to work in those hospitals. We have a worker shortage. And this is the most important thing, Stuart. We're sitting here in the studio, there's technology everywhere. In an operating room, my day job before this all started, that's what I had as well. But patients don't deal with technology and the healthcare system. We need a modernization movement driven by technology, and that is coming to fruition. And this $50 billion fund will not just pay expenses, it'll actually transform this business. And we have a meeting on a summit on the 30th of July at the White House with the president to discuss this very issue. If we make healthcare function the way banks function, the way you can order food, the way you can watch streaming videos, transform it to be a 21st century industry, it'll become productive again. The loss of productivity is what hurts medicine. Making the system work more efficiently for the American people will save lives, and we'll be able to afford it.
Measles. 1,300 cases nationwide, 38 states affected. Senator Schumer wants to declare a national emergency, a public health emergency. What would that mean?
It will give more flexibility, and Secretary Kennedy is incredibly attuned to these issues. A very passionate man who is like a brother to me, really cares about these problems. Get a measles vaccine. Forget about all the other rhetoric.
There is some skepticism about.
Oh, okay, now let's stop right there. Let's stop right there. Isn't that interesting? Now you got a measles outbreak. Well, Kennedy, he's very sensitive to people, and now I was saying, well, get a vaccine. Oh, but y'all was up in an uproar with the COVID vaccine. Don't get it. But now we say, oh, it's okay. And you notice how nonchalant he said it. Oh yeah, get the measles vaccine. Yeah, these are children. Yeah, children need vaccines. Grown-ups need vaccines too. When it comes to your health, how can you be a Maha making America healthy again if you're not allowing people the access to the healthcare system that they need? Cutting out people, cutting back this, taking away that. And did you hear what he said? They got $500 billion in what they call a hospital fund. And so these hospitals that's going to be affected by the people being cut off their Medicaid program, so they got money set aside. Oh, we'll give it to the hospitals. Sound like that's what he's saying to me. Oh, we'll make it up. We'll give it to you. We got $50 billion. We'll give it to you, although you ain't got no patience, but we're still going to give you the money, kind of like how they did the farmers. The farmers, they had to pay them because nobody bought their crop. We just give it to you. Just pay you. Well, we don't care if you don't have a buyer. We'll take care of you. You can do that every year. And the farmer said, we don't want they didn't want a bailout. They want trade. That's what they want. And here's the same thing with the people. People are wanting Medicaid coverage. They need their coverage. Did you hear? He said that what we're going through, this is a psychology thing. Is what he's calling Medicaid. In other words, he said, it's just all in your mind. Please, Dr. Oz. No wonder you call Dr. Oz. You'd be perfect for the Wizard of Oz. Okay. Make us healthy again, doctor. Make us healthy again. All right, then, everyone. Hey, listen, you saw the video. You heard what he had to say. Aren't you ready to hear what the commenters have to say? Well, let's take a look and see. Take a look at our very first commenter. Now, this is coming from Pace KN4PP. Pace says, what's plain as day is the fact that people need to go back to work. Ooh, he put that in all caps, didn't he? Get those lazy ones to be accountable. Hey, nothing wrong with that. He's right. If you're lazy, you're a bum, and you sit around and you're not doing anything, and you can go to school, you can go to work, and you're getting a check every month. And you choose not to go to work because, hey, I get a check, and you living with mom and daddy too, probably. You're right. People do need to go back to work, okay? They need to be held accountable so they can put money into the system to keep the system going. Good comment. You got 10 likes on that one. That was a great one, and we welcome you to Your Comments Matters. Take a look at EBE. Says, remember when taking charity was disgraceful? People used to have pride in paying their own way. But see, you got to understand, yeah, people had pride in paying their own way because they could afford to pay their own way. They had the money. It's the poor that can't pay their own way. It's the poor that needs the charity. Rich man don't need charity, but what the rich man get is tax cuts. He don't want charity. Just give me a tax cut and I'm good. Okay, we need to talk about them. Okay. But you got 7 likes on that one, Eve. Let's take a look at Lynn Roberts' comment. Lynn says, this needs to be a huge incentive program for those lost young men between 18 and 25 to go to a trade school, join an apprentice program, go to community college, etc. After 2 years of training, they get a job and come off those doles. Voila! Good point. So notice that the age gap she gave there. She said between 18 and 25. So you telling me that this age group, these young men, they're sitting at home, bum, looking at TV, watching video games. They're not getting a job. And they're at home with their mom and dad because they definitely can't be out on their own. They can't have an apartment on their own or a house. So they got to be living with mom and dad. What is mom and dad doing? Why is mom and dad still allowing these grown-ups to be living in their house? And you know, now you get what? You get to be on your parents' medical insurance till you're 26. Maybe that's why, huh? So they freeloading off mom and dad, yet and still you getting a government check when you could, like they said, get some training, go to school. You know, back in the day, people, when I went to school in Louisiana, they had what they call a trade school. Man, I looked in there one day and people was building things, carpenters, electricians. They was teaching them a trade. That's what helps your community. You young people in high school right now, take advantage of the education. If the administration ain't cut back education, you know they want to get rid of the Department of Education. So if that happens, then how are you going to fund the trade schools? Make this thing make sense. All right. Okay, then, everyone. Hey, listen, Lynn, you got 20 likes on that comment. Great comment. Last one. Let's take a look at Salvatore. Salvatore says, Medicaid has been so abused, it's staggering. And you are right. It has been so abused, the Medicaid system. And that's why the Trump administration was saying that it's $1.7 trillion in abuse, waste, and fraud that they're going to get rid of. That's why I say, if it's that much money, then they all got to be illegals. If you're a legal American and the government, you provided everything to show that you're legal and you deserve this assistance, then you should keep it. But it's the illegals you need to identify and get them off the payroll. Okay, they're the ones. That's why it's staggering. Okay. All right, then, everyone. That's going to do it for the comments on this show today. And remember, your comments matters. That's why you make the comment on the things that you watch when you're watching these YouTube channels. You know, so if you got a comment about the comments that you just saw here today, then let me know below in our comments. We'd greatly appreciate it. All right, then, that's going to do it for the show today. I will see you on the next video. I want to thank you for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing to Your Comments Matters. I'm Carol Love, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care.